Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. Taken in at the 3. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And with a 3-score deficit staring them in the face, they might have to press the issue here and try to get points out of this drive. Finds Hill on the crossing route, complete. Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts as they'll stop him with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. Here's Tagovailoa on 1st and 10. He'll let this go for the end zone. And this ball incomplete. Looked very much to be a catchable ball. Could not hang on. Second down coming up. Tua sets up to pass it. That's caught by the Notre Dame man. It's Durham Smythe. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. Now another timeout called for by the offense as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1.
Well, these guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half, but I like their countenance. I like the way that they're having panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They were starting to move the ball, and what you have to do, maintain your poise.
And Tua going to be intercepted for the 3rd time. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. And the Ravens will take over here just shy of the 30. I'm not sure that the wheels, Charles, are coming completely off, but they're shaking a little bit. That's 3 interceptions, and now interceptions here on back-to-back drives.
And I think about what a Hall of Fame coach told me, that he always told his teams, when a mistake happens, just move on to the next play. Let it go. Hard to do when you throw this many interceptions. That's exactly the attitude that has to be adopted.
And now we'll get a late timeout as it comes in the waning moments of quarter number 2. So with 2 ticks left here in the half, on is the field goal unit. This will approach NFL record territory. It's a 62-yard attempt. And that one's not going to get there. Not enough juice. An ambitious effort, but it's well short. So that would have been something from that distance, but to no avail. Comes up empty as we have reached the intermission. As we'll send you down to Orlando, we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, and we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the 3rd quarter. The Ravens ready to receive it, and they've got the lead as well as we resume play in the second half. This one fielded at the 5. Oh, a good-looking return set up here. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. Hey, Charles, they've got the lead. Put your coaching hat on here now. What's the game plan for the second half?
I think getting the running game going a little bit more, because I thought in the first half they didn't get it moving the way that they would like. They had success throwing it, but I think these first couple of drives, they'll want to get those running backs going and give them more opportunities, and I will guarantee you that those guys were lobbying for them in the locker room at halftime.
On 2nd and 12, Jackson. Open man is Duvernay. So they'll get 8 out of that completion. And now it's 3rd and 4.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing. He's got a man. Complete. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Rashad Bateman, his 2nd touchdown on the season, as his guys have opened up a very comfortable lead. Tucker with the extra point, and the lead is now 24. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. I had one tell me once, when we're having a tough patch, this too shall pass, this too shall pass. And finally we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you got to do something to make it pass. And that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here. Now a deep ball there on second down, but it'll wind up incomplete. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. They fake the handoff. Now Tua. And he goes down. The Ravens able to get to him. Calais Campbell picks up his second sack of the afternoon. Here's Thomas Morstead now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Now Hill to return it. 35 yards that time on the punt, and the Ravens set up well to begin their drive as it'll begin in enemy territory already. So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. Dobbins running out of the gun. And some room to maneuver. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. 50 yards rushing on 12 carries for him now.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. This game not quite as good as the last, but still over 40 yards between the two.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
From the gun, it's Jackson. And in for the Ravens touchdown. Mark Andrews from 6 yards away. And the Ravens have opened the lead up to 30. Tucker able to connect on the extra point. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. Well, we haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD, and if they cannot score here, this one's pretty much all but over.
Are you saying that you feel like people are starting to think about getting out of here and maybe beating the traffic in order to get home or to their final destination?
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of reason to hang around, especially if they can't score here.
Yeah, you're right about that, because it has been pretty clear who the better team has been in this one. And in a league that we talk about every game being a one-score game as we go into it, watching this blowout, let's just say it's been unusual.
Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. Tagovailoa working out of the gun. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee.
As a quarterback, you got to be cautious. You got to understand where the pressure is going to come from. This time, it's a cornerback coming after him. And this time, the cornerback just a bit late getting to him. The penalty assessed.
2 and now on 1st down. Gonna look deep for Wilson. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. And the Ravens are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20. Well, to be blunt, not a whole lot has gone right for this defense in this ball game, but that's something right there. Still in the 3rd quarter. It would take something around miracle territory for a comeback, but maybe that's a start, Charles.
It certainly is, and they're definitely showing that there's some fight still left in them. Hasn't been a banner day, but they're trying their best to put that disappointment behind them and find ways to make plays.
Now Dobbins again on 2nd down. And he'll fight forward maybe to the line of scrimmage, but that's all. They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL. And he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it one more time, so make sure you get in shape.
Now it's Jackson. Going deep downfield for Ross. That's caught inside the 20. And he's going to be brought down at about the 16.
Well, partner, that's how you make a long drive suddenly not so long anymore. One big play, and they're already in field goal range with designs on getting more than that.
Well, this offense really looking polished these first couple of weeks. Here's 1st and 10. And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Play action. It's Jackson. Throw left side complete. That's Andrews. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defense.
Fourth down, here's Jackson. That is caught. It's Bateman for a Raven touchdown. Rashad Bateman, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Ravens are on their way to a 2-0 start. Tucker with the extra point. And this one was over a while ago as they just added on to that big lead. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. It's a short kick taken out beyond the 20. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped at the 23-yard line.
Let's go.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but The self-inflicted wounds. They've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
And going deep for Hill. And now here's another interception. Picked off by Troy Pride. But with this advantage, this defense knew that passes were coming, and they stayed in position, Charles, and picked one off here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, what a way to cap things off, huh? Because I think this is part of the game within the game. They see the scoreboard, they see what they can accomplish, and they went for it.
And not much of a hole there as he gets it down to about the 24-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them.
Touchdown! Devin Duvernay, a 24-yard touchdown. And the Ravens are looking to make it 2 straight as they add on to this fourth quarter lead. Tucker able to connect on the extra point. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. Takes it at the 7. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
Second down, here's Mostert again. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. 103 yards rushing now for Mostert as he picks up a first down.
Boy, where would these guys be without his performance on the ground? That puts him over 100 yards now for the afternoon, and I tell you, he seems to be getting stronger as the day goes along.
Here we go.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Running the counter with Mostert. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. Give him 12 yards there, and the Dolphins have a first down.
Despite the score, despite the deficit, no quitting this guy. He's running angry, running through arm tackles. He wants to change what that scoreboard is saying.
On 1st and 10, it's Mostert. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Now they'll throw with Tagovailoa. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. Pass incomplete, but the flag in the backfield, and this might be a roughing call. Well, that frustration, Charles, it's been building on the defensive side of the ball, and unfortunately there, it turns into a roughing the passer penalty.
Yeah, and they should be frustrated because he's picked them apart the entire game, but it's got to come out in a different way. You can't hit him illegally. Stop him downfield the way you're supposed to.
That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down. So their task a little bit more difficult now. 2nd and 13 that they're walking up on. And my goodness, another interception. Picked up by Jalen Armour-Davis. And the Dolphins are going to get this back to their own 34-yard line. Wait a second, they declined the penalty?
I'm as puzzled as you are, partner. I don't understand how anytime you lose possession of the ball, yet you turn down a penalty that would give you possession back. Let's make this simple. Anyone who plays the game, take the football. Always take the football.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. First play of the drive, a success, 19 yards.
No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the fourth quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
They suspected it was a power play up the middle coming at them, and boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on first down.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8.
Jackson going to tuck it down on the option.
And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. He's able to call his own number for 8 that time, but it leaves him with a 3rd down.
Well, that's what he can do, when he keeps the football. It's not a huge gain, but it shows how hard it can be to stop him.
Yeah, and I thought the defense had that one pretty well contained, and in fact, they probably came up and felt pretty good about what they did. Then they looked up and realized he still got good yardage out of it. He's a tough guy to stop.
They'll try to run for it with Dobbins. And that one opened up for him well as he'll take this down to the 26-yard line. 97 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. Right back to Dobbins on first.
And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground, but I think the play gets made by the defensive front because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
And he'll be taken down near the 20 at the 21. Give him 3 on the run there. Now they're looking at a 3rd and about 5.